Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell, lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and joining us from Orlando, Florida, the retired executive vice president of Walt Disney World, Lee Cockerell. Hello, Lee.
Hey Jody, how are you today?
I am fantastic, and I heard that you recently had a very special house guest.
Yeah, we had a couple. Daniel came over, my son from Australia. He had to go to a meeting in Washington, and his daughter flew down the night before to surprise me. He knew she was coming, so it was fun to have them both here for the weekend. We don't get to do that too often.
Yeah, that was nice. He told me about surprising you with Margot. That
Yeah, I
that
walked
she
in the house after I had coffee that morning, looked over, and I was double take. I was going, what is going on here? But it was
uh
nice. It was fun. Yeah.
yeah, that's fun. Well, if you want to visit Lee's favorite coffee shop in Orlando, you could call Magical Vacation Planner at 407-442-2694. Let them know I need to go to Coffee for the Soul, or I need to go to Epic Universe or Walt Disney World, because that's where Lee came home from, his coffee shop, when Margot surprised him. So there you go. You can go there too. Lee, I have a listener question, and this is a topic that has not come up for a little while. But this person said, for my team, safety is the biggest issue that I see keeping team members. So this is it. Safety is the biggest issue. Team members who are not in customer facing roles, they just don't, they're not as interested in the topic of safety. So they're asking for your advice in helping people who are backstage see that all roles are related to the customer. So that's it. Around safety, how does someone in a backstage role, how does their focus on safety matter to the customer?
Well, we could just go with everything's connected. One person doing the wrong thing can hurt somebody else. One person doing the right thing can make cause something not to happen. We always talk about if you want to have a safe environment, you work on making sure things don't happen, and uh, and not instead of correcting them after they do happen and coming up with some big plan. And just having total clarity around safety, what in each position. Each position has certain things that they're more liable to get hurt in, depending what you do. If an engineer backstage is working on a motor, the electricity could, or a problem there could be the problem, or the person who's putting up props, lifting could be the problem. They could get a back injury. Uh, Even the custodial person who doesn't wipe up a spill or move something out of the way can keep somebody from tripping and falling. And so, I mean, it's really all connected. So, opening the curtain on time is important, and the backstage person's got to open it so the onstage person can do their job, and the lighting on the stage that it's proper and it's in the right place so nobody falls off the stage because they don't see the barrier or the line, directional line. And so, I mean, everything's connected. What I do, and I may never even know the accident it causes down the road by me not doing my job well. And this happens all the time. People open an electrical box and they say they didn't know because the person before them did something, didn't leave them out, didn't tie it off. Um, it's just, I was talking to Daniel while he was here too, and we were talking about physical safety is certainly something that if you want it to be safe, and by the way, it can cost your company a lot of money in workman's compensation, in liability, in lawsuits, in class action suits, uh, depending who gets hurt and what the laws are in that state, but it can be significant. But on the other hand, Daniel and I started talking about something which is really resonates with me more and is harder to deal with, and maybe would even improve physical safety if you could get it right. and that's psychological safety. That everybody who comes to work feels like they're wanted, they're there, we care about them. They are somebody. They get recognized. They get trained. They get developed, and all of a sudden, you know how much I would tell you that probably every. And I told Daniel, I said, listen, you're in the same boat. You're a CEO. You don't have psychological safety. You're always, "Oh, what's happening? The business going well? It's not going well. This is happening. That's happening." Every banker is not does not have psychological safety. How's the economy going? Am I going to lose my job? I got 3 kids. I got kids going to college. And really, when you think about it, you and I, you got to really be in a special place to have psychological safety. Uh, and that's the relationships you have with people, and do people trust you? When people trust you, the level of psychological safety goes up dramatically. If I don't trust you, I'll be always, I'm going to watch. I'm not going to tell them everything. This guy, I'm not sure. And when you feel like 100% trust, you can tell people anything and you can do anything. That's when you've reached psychological safety. Then we talked about how would a company do this? Can you imagine being the CEO? It creates an environment. First, maybe you would have to put a lot of money in the bank so you could always guarantee there'll never be a layoff. They'll guarantee that we'll take care of you medically, guarantee that your benefits will be there when you get ready to retire. I'm going to take away everything you could worry about. Then you would have psychological safety. Now, can we do that? No, probably not. But we can get it better. We can get it closer. If I'm at 60% trust for my organization and my boss, that's not very safe mentally. If I'm 15%, that's a whole lot better. At least I feel good until you fire me. So so it's just a matter of, and also for the person who suffers from a lack of psychological safety is prepare yourself in case something happens. So that'll ensure your safety psychologically as well. Knowing I don't care if they do something to me, I know I got a plan. I got the right amount of money in the bank. I got my retirement, or I've got I know I can get a job tomorrow morning. I'm not worried about that. Then you can do it, or the organization can do it. So I think it's something to, and we talked about colleges and kids. Colleges need to do a better job of being there for the kids and being available and offering them counseling and tutors when they need help, and to ease this going away from home and being with other people for the first time. And then when if you don't feel philosophical safe, you make errors, you make bad judgments, you do things to make you feel better, and often they are not good things. Alcohol, drugs, eating too much, uh, all the things we know that people do to make themselves feel good temporarily. And we as leaders and parents got to work on making sure we don't make it temporary, but it's normal. And the kids look forward to walking in the front door every night because it's a place they feel safe. So that's how I've been thinking about it lately. And I think about it a lot because I think it's one of those areas we don't talk about much. We don't think about much, and we don't realize we are sometimes the problem, not them. We create the environment where they're afraid to speak up because the way we overreact or what we say, or we punish them, or so it. I think this is a good message for everybody to think about this week of, yeah, how well are you doing? Are you really? Are you really? And then you'll get better. When the culture gets better, everything gets better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tie to physical safety, which is what the question was about, physical safety. But what a good tie-in to think about psychological safety and how that trickles outward towards physical safety, because people will care more, they will pay attention more. If someone is so stressed out on, oh my goodness, if I mess up here, Lee Cockerell's really going to get me, then it is harder to be safe and harder to pay attention to details.
It is. And with physical safety, that happens usually when you're not paying attention, when you're thinking about something else instead of what you should be, where you're worrying about what's going on at home, or you're worrying about your finances, or you're worrying about what your boss thinks. And we often take chances, or you're under pressure to do it faster, and your boss is pushing you for productivity, and you don't tie yourself off on a ladder, or you don't pull the plug on the electric door. So they're tied. I mean, you know, when you're feeling great and paying attention and alert, uh, not on your phone in the car, you don't run into people. I mean, it's, being on your phone is some desire to feel better. You want to be on their phone, that feels good, or you want to eat a hamburger while you're driving and putting on makeup for ladies. And these are all psychological problems that can create a real physical problem when you run into the guy in front of you because you're not paying attention to you're trying to get a high for some reason. It's like, well, why people smoke a cigarette? You get a high, you get take a drink, eat a piece of cheesecake. Those are all people looking for to feel different, and we could just do that with how we treat them and how we care for them and are there for them and be there for them. And maybe that's our main job, actually, is to as parents and as leaders, is to get that right, and then let them do their job, because we're not going to do their job anyway. The best thing we can do is create the right environment and let them do their job. They're the experts. So that may be actually being a leader may be easier than you think, because you don't need to do anything. You just need to create the right environment and let people be focused on what they're supposed to be doing, not over in the corner talking about how bad things are around here. So it's a good connection, and I think we're going to hear a lot more about it because of people really are insecure right now with the economy, with their job, with their future, with their retirement, with you name it. And it, I think mental illness and mental anxiety and mental stress is going to be a big topic coming, and everybody's going to have to pay more attention to it, or people are just not going to be productive, or they're going to quit, or they're going to do violence in the workplace. These shootings we see and all this stuff, it's all tied together. It's all tied together, and each time something happens, we go back and there's a big story behind it that was happening a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and played out in a very sad situation. So yeah, there you go. That's what we do.
Well, since we talked about Daniel, I remember him telling me one time how just if you focus on safety and use number of accidents in the workplace, it's a lagging indicator. By the time someone has been hurt, well, the problem is way upstream, and you should instead focus on leading indicators. Now, that's Daniel's topic. He's not here to talk about it, but I wanted to bring it up to you to say if I feel like psychological safety is one of those leading indicators that you can focus on that, it'll improve things. Are there any other things that you can focus on upstream rather than just reporting the number of we've had 0 accidents for 94 days?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us, it's like when you when just think about how your thought process changed when you had your first baby. When August was born and he was going to be in the house, and the cabinets were, and everything was open, and the doors locked. You wanted them locked, and him not to be able to get into things and into the prescription cabinet. And you can anticipate in each job what are the top one, two, or three things that could happen. I mean, just by observing and talking to the people who do the work. And I would say do that, and then create a standard around it and enforcement around it, and including getting the right protective gear, the right training, so things don't happen. There's many things in your life, if you do them, other things don't happen. And sometimes you got to do them way before to keep something from happening. And so, yeah, anticipation. You talk to the people who do the work, and there's plenty of research on the internet about the probability of a accident in each job and what they are. around the country, around the world. And electricians, there's a few things that happen, and that that's what you want to focus on. Or people who work on roofs, there's just two or three things that happen. One, fall off the roof, not have the right gloves, the right, there's just a few things, and then you got to be the leader to enforce that those things are done the way they have to be, so nobody gets hurt. And when you enforce things, people don't like you, and your kids don't like you. So that's too bad. It's for their own good, and it's that old word comes back. It's responsibility. You take responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, we cover safety not often, but it is a thread within the Main Street Leader, which
Yeah.
is a monthly newsletter it's beautifully designed. The articles are great. It's only $10 a month. You can find it at cockerellstore.com. If you have a listener question or a topic you'd like us to talk about, just send an email to either one of us. Lee's at leecockerell.com. I'm at jodymayberry.com. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.